Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Exoria. So, since last episode, I have done a bit of stuff. I did update this to another pressure refinery, so we have two of those. I also moved over the water system because back there, I set a barrel down and it burnt. So, up here, I should be able to set barrels down and them not catch on fire, which will be great. So I did move that up. And then I also started working on this little area over here. And we're going to be using this area today for automation stuff. This is actually connected over to the bee line. And it goes down and around and connects. I'll show you over in the bee storage area where it connects up to. But it brings up all of the gold nuggets, lead, iron, silver, tin, and copper from down there. Brings it all up here, and then there's wooden hoppers that are feeding down into melters. And, whoops. And we're going to be using this for automation because we don't really have coal or charcoal automation, up and going. So I think I'm just going to melt all this stuff down in the ember smelters, and then we're going to handle the output here in just a bit. And then I also have the embers coming up as well. We have almost 6 stacks of ember shards in there at the moment, which reminds me, I need to pop down there and actually see if I got an embers bee by chance. Because I've been waiting for a couple bees. I think I need appetite. Maybe I need tungsten? I don't know if I need tungsten or not. Yeah, I didn't get an embers bee. That's too bad. I'm actually working on, hey, there we go. That's what I want, actually. Why did it double up a gold princess? I don't want the gold princess. Let's see. Magma gold. I'm actually working on magma right now because this is going to allow us to create netherrack. And that's a gold magma. Okay. And I don't need the embers bees, I don't think. Ember Exoria. Okay. I need more honey drops. That's fine. I'm going to throw it in there because that's actually a pretty decent bee. It's magma gold, but I got to make more honey drops, but anyways, it's going to allow us to make this magma rock. And this stuff, what we can do is 4 pieces of this makes netherrack, and then we can actually start, or magma rack in this pack. We can actually start making, crushing that down to get nether dust or magma dust or whatever, and then combine it with dust and get redstone. So it's going to allow us to get redstone here pretty soon. But right here, I've actually used some golden pipes as well, which I'm actually out of gold at the moment. But that should be fixed here in just a minute. But basically I just have a silver transport pipe that's pumping these items up. And that's really all there is to it. Now I will say we're going to have some other items get pumped out, like lapis and diamond and emerald, all that stuff, because we're going to automate that as well. And crystal shards, that's another thing. We've actually got 80 stacks of those. Those things are super common. Honestly, once I get this automated, this magma rock is super common as well. Because this stuff is a 100% drop from magma bees. So I would like to get those. I actually had magma on the princess originally, but then I bred it with gold to try to get the stats up because it had some stats that need to be upgraded. I did upgrade some bees here. I think you saw that we had lapis and diamond, but we also now have coal. It's running. Of course, it only produces the comb, so it's not actually of any use until we get centrifuges. Over here we have obsidian bees. We have steel bees. And, okay, I do need steel. Right here I've got embers bees, and I need a second embers set. I've got copper, and I need another copper set. Which technically I could take the drones and just breed them together with the princesses. Maybe 5-10 drones, and end up getting a princess that has the stats that I want. And be an exact duplicate of, this one. But I'm just it's easier just waiting for the princesses, so that's what I'm doing. Right here we have tungsten, and then over here I have appetite. And I do need a princess for this. I guess I don't need tungsten. I do not. Okay. But I did get those bees included into our little setup down here. Getting a lot of resources from bees, which is nice. Which is quite nice, actually. And these bees I'm going to dump into this chest. This is all... I think the only thing I haven't in here right now is fishy. So, everything else I've pretty much isolated and gotten situated and everything. I did go ahead and pull out all of the ores out of these drawers and took them upstairs. just to kind of clean this up. I've still got to clean out the drawers, but I'm going to wait until I finish automating a lot of this stuff, because like diamonds are going to get pulled upstairs. Emerald, lapis, steel, grit will eventually get pulled up, and probably burnium as well, and then ash. So for right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. And today I'd like to move into a little bit of automation. I'd like to mix it up and do a little bit of automation and then a little bit of progression-y type stuff. And then probably next episode do a little bit of automation and a little bit of progression stuff as well. And I would like to go ahead and automate all of this, because I don't want to mess with ores anymore. I'm tired of messing with ores and having to manually smelt them down and everything. And like I said, I did go ahead and make all these melters, 6 melters. And then I set up 2 of the pressure refineries. So what we're going to do is we're going to automate the ember, transferring the ember shards and getting those changed over. And I think what I want to get is item extractors, item pipes, beam splitters. I went ahead and made those, but I am going to have to make emitters, which I've got some more cammonite plates. There's some cammonite bricks. I'm out of sulfur again, of course. It's like a never-ending battle over here to keep up on sulfur. Let's go ahead and get ourselves like 6 ember emitters. Then I'm also going to want receptors, a few of these as well, which is lead. I'll go ahead and make 12 receptors. This setup is decently expensive because I'm just burning through cammonite. Like, there's actually a lot of stuff. Oh, I'm not going to be able to put a receptor right there. I didn't think about that, because I actually want the receptors on the bottom there. Ideally, I would like them setting right here. Like that. And then we'll set the levers then on the side. That shouldn't conflict with the hopper, I shouldn't think. No, it's still dropping. Okay, perfect. Okay, receptors are in place. Great. And then what I would like to do is, let's go ahead and put emitters down. We're going to do an emitter. I should have... Let me clear back here a little bit so I can get behind these. We're going to put emitters on these 3 sides. Just like that. It doesn't really help to put them on the interior side, because for 1, you're only going to be able to put it on one of these. And for 2, it's going to end up hitting one of the other emitters or something. So it's kind of wasteful to do that, I feel like. And then let's go ahead and set ourselves up some beam splitters. And I'm going to put down 3 of these. Now, I will say there was an update for this pack since last episode. I did update. It came out literally like right after I finished recording the last episode. And you can see we've actually got a 6th page here that is brewing. That covers the new brewing system, which I'm really excited about. I've been playing around with it in my test world a little bit. Kind of a new feature. There's actually a lot of new features within this update. There is the scales, the catalytic plug. Those are new. We've also got the insulation for the hearth coil, which is kind of nice. I'm still playing around with all this stuff in my test world. Sulfur, that's a new feature, but I don't think we're actually going to find it present. It's a natural spawn thing in the world. I don't think that we're going to be finding it in this pack due to the way that worlds generate, unless maybe one day when we reach the overworld or something. That's the only guess that I have, but I don't know for sure. I mean, like I said, they're pretty new features, so. And I didn't have time to mess around with all of it over the weekend because I had a really busy weekend, actually. Real life stuff. So, related to moving, yeah. Possibly soon. So, anyways, let's go ahead and set up our beam splitters, and I think I'm just going to have these setting... I could put one like right there, and put another one like right there, and one like right there. And... that might actually work well for what I want to do. And then put the receptor, like one right there, and one right there. And then if we bind this to, say, the ones in the back, let's say. So right click, right click. I'm going to connect it up to 2 of the emitters, one on each refinery for each of these. And then this one will connect to these 2. And then this one will connect to those 2. And hopefully they'll be able to hit it perfectly with everything going on in here and everything. And then what we'll do is we'll have, like, that's going to connect to there, 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 there, and there. And hopefully that is good. We'll make this stuff all look a little bit nicer when we move, but right now I'm kind of focused on us getting moved in the distant future, near future. I don't know. I don't know how far we are from reaching the next actual dimension. And I don't mean the core by that. I mean like another new dimension. Okay, so now that that's in place, I think this should all work good. I should think. I've got to put levers on the emitters, which I've got 2 levers in that chest. Do I have... I'm going to have to make up a bit more cobblestone at some point. Let's go ahead and get like 10 of these. There we go, 12 levers. And we'll go ahead and hit all of these with redstone. There we go. And then all we need to do is, we'll set an item extractor on this. And we're going to have this item extractor feed over. Let's do an item pipe setting. See if I brought it straight down, because I need it to pump into the... Oh yeah, I'm going to have to do water too. That's the only thing, is this isn't going to be fully automated without water. Oh, an interesting fact, and it's not due to this lava, like I just jumped in here, but I really didn't jump in lava too much between episodes, and the heat on my armor has actually went up. I mean, it's nearly halfway up. And it hasn't really been heavily due to combat. It's just been, I mean, it's actually going up, if you notice. It's slightly going up every time I take damage from this fire. But it's actually been raising on its own, without me taking damage. Like, whenever I would... you know, maybe AFK, doing bees, stuff like that, it would actually just go up on its own. Interesting little fact. It does seem to kind of passively go up as you wear it. So, I want to actually break off that connection. I'll put that there. So anyways, the embers are going to get pumped out and sent over to these pressure refineries. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually going to run these cables over, and I'm going to plug them into... these over here as well, so that these will stay filled. So let's just go through here. Oh, it's actually right there. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring that around a little bit. Let me go ahead and grab this. By the way, I did go ahead and make a clockwork battle axe and a clockwork pickaxe. You can see the heat on the pickaxe is fully up at the moment, which we're going to be using that here in just a minute. But I did go ahead and make those because they're both unbreakable, and they're both like pretty decent, especially once you start sticking upgrades on them. So I figured I'd go ahead and just make these, because using a little bit of embers, I mean, embers is free at this point. I mean, there's absolutely no cost included with the ember stuff, because our bees are producing it just fine. And we'll just plug it in just like this. Done. Okay. So now, if I hit this with some redstone, it should start pulling this stuff out, and it should kick these on. There we go. And it's going to start running our refineries. These in here are not going to start running yet, of course, because they don't have water. So let me get... I think I've got a fluid extractor made. If not, they're cheap. Yeah, I've got one left. I need to make something a bit nicer for water here soon. But for right now, this is alright. Okay, so we're going to do a fluid line that connects... just connect it in right here. And then we'll set our barrel like right there, and then have our fluid extractor. Because I really don't want this thing burning up, because it does. It actually does burn up, which is terrible. We'll go ahead and kick that on, and it should start pumping this stuff out. And there we go. You can see there's ember blasts. Should be coming from all of these. So I see... looks like 2 are hitting that one. 2 is definitely hitting that one, and 2 is definitely hitting that one. So that's perfect. So our melters should actually be running right now, and they should be melting this stuff down. You can see we've got 16 millibuckets of liquid lead. Now, I will say this stuff's not as fast right now as the melters. When they're like heated up and everything, they're a lot faster, but this is fairly passive. I am going to have to watch the water. That's the only issue at the moment. Which is actually kind of annoying, but that's okay. That's alright, because I think we're actually approaching some easier ways to handle water here soon, so yeah, it'll be alright. And I can just kind of like run out here ever so often and... let me actually sleep. And really, I could make a room where we like build up water that's like open to the sky, just filled with barrels, and we would probably stay filled on water. So I may work on that as like a next project or something like that. So that way it's a little bit easier, and I can kind of just set it and forget it. You know, it'll automatically keep everything stocked on water. Because right now, all this running around having to manually move the water isn't really a whole lot of fun. So I'll probably work on just an open room to the sky with barrels connected up to fluid extractors, and then we'll call it a day. That should work just fine. Like, this system actually doesn't consume water all that quickly. It does take a while for it to consume anything. I'm going to go ahead and put a full bucket here. But still, I want to go ahead and get that system automated here pretty soon. How are we doing on... Are we out of embers? Seriously? Well, each of these has accepted a bit of them. Whew, there's still a bunch. Okay, well, that one's filled. That one's got 14 in it. I've got these right here. So I guess I can just dump all of these in there. Not to mention the boar has a bunch in it. It'll be fine once it builds up. And once I get a second embers bee. And once I let it... I don't think I've really AFK'd too terribly much with the ember bees since I got those set up. So that's kind of to be expected right now. Okay, so anyways, this stuff is burning through the metals at the moment. It's melting those down. And so then what I want to do to actually handle this stuff is, I was originally planning on using a stamper, but I noticed that for some reason I tried actually running a little bit of iron through a stamper. The one that we already have set up, and it would not stamp. And I don't know if it has to do with the update or what. It was just acting up on me. So I'm going to scratch that idea, and I'm actually just going to steal these metal casters here. Because in truth, once we have this little setup up and going, I don't necessarily need these metal casters here anymore. I don't feel like. I'm going to leave the one here that does like the copper and the tin and all that special stuff, but I think this thing's kind of buggy sometimes. There we go. But I think just using these for making those ingots, and then if I want to, I can always, you know, pull it out, let the liquid build up. I can make gears or whatever with it. I think that'll work out fine. So we're going to put, okay, it must be in a closed room. At least 64 exposed concrete. Okay, so I am going to have to make up a bit of concrete for this. Okay, I've got concrete laid out. Actually, it wasn't that bad to make now that we have infinite sand, infinite gravel, you know, pretty much. Wow, did it really take all those ember shards? Wow, okay. That's going to be... Of course, I do have a lot of this stuff built up. And if I had access to, like, consistent certain materials, we could actually refine the ember even further, make it a lot better. But I don't have access to those, so I don't know. This will be alright. This will be fine. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take our metal casters, and must be in a closed room. What are you talking about? This is closed. I hate this. I hate running into this. Oh, it's got to be a closed room. Well, I think it's all closed. So I don't know. I mean, it doesn't give you any kind of detail as to where it's not closed. Okay, I finally did something. I don't know what I closed up that was any different. I basically just put a wall there, but it's still technically kind of open, I guess. I don't know. I have no clue. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and just set these things down, and they're going to start filling up with liquids because this stuff has melted down. Now, initially, it did use a lot of embers, and that's due... I need one more of those. That's due to the fact that it had to fill up buffers in the other ones because those were like pretty much tapped out on embers. So it ran through, you know, a few stacks, but it filled up the buffers on those other two over there. So that's all right. It's not a major problem or anything. Let me go ahead and actually just snag at this metal caster. And we'll put this one in right there. And then let's go ahead and add in our ingot molds to these. And I'm going to go ahead and dump like nugget mold, plate mold, rod mold, gear for right now. I'm just going to dump them into that one. Just to hold on to. And we'll go ahead. I'm going to have to make one more ingot mold as well, which will be fine. To make this, it was depth of 2. Okay. I'd actually like to go ahead and get some more shards so that we've got them. Hopefully, and I mean, if worse comes to worse, I can upgrade. I mean, right now I've only got one bee running. And it's working through a lot of backlog for iron and gold and all that stuff. But, I mean, long term, I may end up upgrading the number of bees. Even above, like, the 2 that I'm planning on putting in there for sure. And by the way, this is pretty much all the embers from that chunk that was down there. It's pretty much drained at this point. Alright, so there's 5 stacks. I'm going to go ahead and break these down. Might as well. Help kind of jumpstart it a little bit. There we go. And that way it can start processing through and making our ingots. There we go. It's not nearly as fast or probably even as efficient as running it through the melter. But I don't want the melter running 24/7, and I don't really have coal automated, you know. Technically, we probably could automate it since we have ash bees. But that's okay. That's alright. Alright, but anyway, since that's in place now, let's go ahead and automate the output of it. I'm going to need like 2 more chests. Alright, so we'll get 2 more of those, then I'm going to go ahead and get 2 drawers, and I'm going to model them after the ones that we've already got set up in that room, which is actually just a combination of basalt and the silver Tyrian blocks, these right here. I'm going to go ahead and get 1 for each ingot type. But basically, I would just like to start automating some of the output from those bees, because we have a lot of stuff coming in, but we're not actually doing much with any of it, so that's kind of my goal today, or for this little bit of automation. Alright, and then we're going to need 6 item extractors. We are going to need, I guess, 6 item pipes. And later on, I want to automate the aluminum and the steel and the tungsten, all that stuff. Well, the tungsten's combs, but that's fine. We'll put item extractors on these, and then have those pump over. And actually, what I'm probably going to do is centralize the chests, or centralize the drawers a little bit. So we'll have the drawers actually setting. So what I'm probably going to do is just put these like right in here. And this will be all the ingots that are coming from this system. So these will plug into that. This one is going to plug in. Let me grab this. We will disconnect that and just connect it into there. And then this one will come down and come over like that. There we go. And we'll have a nice little hands-free system, so we don't have to actually interact with any of this stuff moving forward. And actually, these item pipes are really nice, because, I mean, they're instant and they are free. Plus, there is, I actually almost thought about changing over the bee system, a lot of that, to this, but that's already in place, so I figured I'd leave it for now. And then all we need to do is just set up our levers. Grab a couple more of these. Okay, there we go. So now we have automatic metals coming in. So 22 of everything so far. I don't know, I mean, it's using up a lot of embers. It's using up a whole lot of embers. This is insane, I feel like. I mean, it's working. Yeah, it's working well. And it's actually not even consuming that much water, but it is eating through those ember shards. I definitely need more bees, I think, if we're going to run this system. I don't know, we'll go with it for right now. It's using up a lot of ember shards. Like a whole bunch of ember shards. Which kind of concerns me. I don't know. Oh, but then again, these item pipes, look at that. It's storing 64 in them, so it is going to take a little while to fill up the buffers. Because these actually have inventories. Each item pipe does. So that's the problem. That's why it's taking so many ember shards initially. Is because it's having to put 64 ember shards into each of these item pipes. Which is kind of... which is kind of a thing, but yeah, that'll be alright. It's just a big buffer is all it really is, so that'll be alright. I may run the boar a little bit just to help it out, but we'll see. I think once it's up and going, it'll be really nice, because it's just it's gonna passively, it's not nearly as fast, so certain situations may call for the melter, and I may even actually include a melter. Oh yeah, we could include a melter over here. I'm going to wait, but what I could do is have these pump out into a melter that's like, I don't know, in the center or something. Then the liquids get filtered and go into the metal caster where they belong. And then if we wanted to use that to kind of speed up some of these. We could throw in like, I don't know, a few blocks of charcoal or something like that and speed it up. But I mean, still it's making an ingot like every, I don't know, minute. And I don't have to worry about those, which honestly it should, once it's burnt through all of the backup on that, it should actually be able to keep up with our produce from our bees for right now. It's just right now I just have so many stacks of this stuff. I mean, actually copper I think is probably done. It is done. Well, it's got 27 copper ore rocks left, because copper was a much newer addition, so soon this one is actually going to shut off. So at least there's that, I guess. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and actually get some bees running through over here, and just transforming these princesses into Ember's princesses. Because after they run through with like, I don't know, 10 drones or something like that, they're probably going to have identical stats. 32 is just a safety precaution. Then those drones will start stacking with that, and it'll keep running. And then everything's going to get deposited into these chests. Because I think I'm going to go with at least 4 Ember Queens, I think. Just because we are going to be using that stuff quite a bit. So, next episode, I'm going to wait till next episode to automate this and the lapis and all that stuff. And that's simply due to the fact that I don't want to spend the entire episode on the automation, because I do want to cover some other things and check out that new dimension that we've got available to us now. So let's go ahead, and before we go to check out the new dimension, I do want to upgrade the clockwork pickaxe, because I did get the heat maxed on that, and I'll actually have the heat maxed out on these before too long as well. But let's take a look here at augment smithing. And there's 8 different upgrades that you can make, and we also need to do an Inferno Forge. So we'll go ahead and make the Inferno Forge first. This right here. So we're going to need a Wildfire Core. Then Camonite Bricks, Dawnstone Ingots, Copper Block, Dawnstone Blocks, and Iron Plate. Alright. Well, I've got a couple different parts of research. I need to figure out what we need to make with Wildfire Core. Then we also need to make the Ember Crystal Cluster, this right here. Which means we're going to need the Silver Aspectus and the Copper Aspectus, as well as 3 Aspectus platforms. So I'm going to have to craft those up, like another alchemy pedestal, and those Aspectus, because I don't have the Silver, the Copper yet. That's actually the only 2 I'm missing. So give me just a minute here. Okay, I went ahead and did a bit of research and crafted up that other alchemy pedestal and made the Ember Crystal Clusters. I actually had to make 2 successfully, so I had to do 3 processes of this, because I had 1 to test it to see what we needed on Ash, 1, and then I had to make 2, and then I had to test 1 to get the 1 Wildfire Core, basically. But you can see my Ember Crystal Clusters turned out to be Copper on 30, Silver on 11, Dawnstone on 25, Wildfire Core came out to be 36 iron, 24 silver. Now it does actually display, if you take a look, it's 24 out of 24 on the silver, so that's a gimme. It's always going to be 24, but you do have to mess around with the iron a little bit. So I did go ahead and research that, and I went ahead and laid out 36 and 24 here. And so we'll go ahead and activate this. I wish this delay wasn't such a thing, but there we go. And I'm going to go ahead. I just dump these. I don't worry about getting back the ash, because we live on a planet made of ash. So there's not a whole lot of point. I don't feel like in bothering with it. I just toss them in the lava. It's quicker and easier. And then I guess this I can go ahead and just put it right there. And go. And I guess I need to start making those archaic edge blocks as well. Okay, so there is our Wildfire Core. Woot. And I do have the other Aspectus. We've got all the Aspectus made for our alchemy area now. But this thing is going to require, in addition to that, we're going to need the block of copper, the 2 Dawnstone blocks, iron plate, 2 Dawnstone ingots. Which this isn't too bad. I mean, it's a little bit on the expensive side, but I've got pretty much all this stuff lying around. The thing that's going to take the longest is the iron plate. And that's not too big of a concern. This has stopped running, but we did, gold I didn't have any on, we got 48 gold, and it's basically just a waiting game for the bees to start building up. I did end up getting an Ember's bee, or an Ember's queen, from the, the bee that was running, so I did put that in there, and it's running now, and I went ahead and set up a little area for 2 additional Ember's bees, as well, so, whoops. We'll get those up and running here soon. But Anyways, there is our Inferno Forge. Woot. And let's pop back over here. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's go ahead and craft ourselves a mechanical core. This just makes it a whole lot easier setting this thing up. And we're going to put the mechanical core down, like, right here. Should be good. And then we'll drop the Inferno Forge down. And this thing's actually kind of a pain to get on top of. Let me... I'll just do cobblestone for now. Let's do that. And the way this thing works, let me put down a receptor right here so it can go ahead and start filling up with embers. Because we are going to have to feed it some ember power. And I'm just going to connect it up. For right now, I'm going to connect it up to this. And let that start sending embers over. And I'll probably change this back over to here, this connection. But the Inferno Forge, we're only going to use it whenever we level stuff up. So, it's not something we're using like all the time. So the way this thing works, let me go ahead and let it fill up with embers, I guess. Is that what I want to do? Well, I don't think it's going to run until it's filled up enough. We're going to take our clockwork pick, and then we're going to take some crystallized ember. I'm going to throw in ember shards, and we're going to close this thing off, and there we go. You're going to see smoke comes out of this. Now, the more crystallized ember that you use, the better chance you have of succeeding. But let's take a look here. Yeah, I'm going to have to let this thing fill up with more ember power. It doesn't have enough. It definitely doesn't have enough. That's why I didn't do anything. Let me pull off this gauge. Oh, yeah, it's going to take forever to fill this thing up. Let me grab that connection. I'll just bind all three of these over there. Now, honestly, if we let this thing fill up, it's going to have enough power to probably run through a few of these. I want to say we've probably got enough in there to run it, I think. I don't recall it taking more than 2,000. We're going to try it. So if we right-click, we open this up again. Let's give this another shot. So we're going to throw our pickaxe in there. We're going to throw our ember shards in there, or whatever kind of crystallized ember that you have. Like I said, the more you throw in there, the better chance that you're going to have. Then we close this off. Smoke comes out. And I heard that sound effects are on the way, which is awesome. Okay, it should be done now, and it didn't drain all that. And if we take a look here, we have a clockwork pickaxe, and it says level 1 there above the heat. And you'll notice the heat went back down. Basically, we're going to have to build up XP in this thing again. And it gets progressively, it takes progressively more and more heat as you level it up. But the way the level up works, now what we need to do, now that we've got that, what we need to do is we need to craft a modifier for this. And there's 8 different ones here. Now, some of these aren't really going to apply to a pickaxe. Like the flame barrier, that's mainly going to be for armor. Basically, it will burn stuff that attacks you. It's kind of like a fiery thorns effect. Eldritch insignia makes mobs afraid of you. And you can level these up to increase the effects of them. So the more you level up, say, this one, the higher strength mobs that are going to be afraid of you. Intelligent apparatus is XP boost. But we're not really mining anything that gives XP, so there's not a whole lot of point in that. Resonating bale is for tools. It's actually kind of nice because you can right click on a block, and it's really good for mining. It's not, I feel like without any ore generation, some of this stuff is kind of lost. But what it's going to do is if you right click a block, you can see nearby blocks with it. Like it's going to resonate around it and show you nearby blocks of that same kind. So may end up using it later on, but I don't really have too much use for it. Superheater is kind of nice because what it does is it's auto smelt. And I'm wondering that if we use that on cobblestone, if it would auto smelt it. A cinder jet is really nice. It's a super, like an auto dash, or not an auto dash, a dash that you can use, which is really, really good for armor. We're going to be using that here soon. The blasting core creates an explosion. You can use it on picks or on armor or on weapons. It all details it right here. That would be kind of nice. The only thing is I'd probably use the flexible tool inside the base, like if I'm working, and then only use the pickaxe for like mining, but it could be pretty effective. There's also the caster orb. It's for tools and weapons, though arguably it's better, I think, for weapons because it creates like little orbs that attack whenever you use it. So I'm thinking that we're probably going to go with a superheater, and we're going to see if we can get smooth stone with the pick, because if so, that would be really, actually really useful. So let's take a look at the heater. This right here, the superheater from Embers. It's just dawnstone, copper, a little bit more dawnstone. That's actually not too bad at all. So we'll go ahead and grab our superheater. And then all we have to do to apply the modifier is we take this, right-click it onto the anvil, right-click the superheater onto the anvil, and activate the anvil. And there we go. You can see it's level 1 and it has superheating 1 on it. And so then what we can do is, let me grab this, and let's go see if we can auto smelt cobblestone. Because if so, that's going to be awesome for this pick. I was wanting to make a magnet, in fact, which I don't know about these other ones, like I was looking at the Ring of Magnetization, right? And it requires mana steel, which we could pull that off. We have steel now. So that's available, but we need this magnet from Magneticraft to do it, which takes Fluix and takes redstone. Honestly, I could pull off redstone pretty quickly, but I don't know about the Fluix at the moment, because the only recipe that shows up in here is bee produce from Fluix bees, which I don't even think, yeah, we can actually make those. Technically, I could work towards them. Technically. Lapis and dust. Then I need redstone bees, which are dust and magma, which I'm working on magma. Yeah, I could actually do that. But anyways, let's try this. Do you make smooth stone? No, it still gives rocks. Oh, man. Okay, well, I'm sure I've still got other uses for it, but that's kind of a bummer. I was really hoping to get easy smooth stone with this. And honestly, I can't think of much else at the moment that I could mine and smelt. But I want to say that the Misty World has a cobblestone and smooth stone, right? I think it does. Yeah, there's Misty World cobblestone, and this stuff can be smelted to make porous foggy stone. So I'm thinking that once we get to the Misty World, it might be a little bit more useful. But right now, this isn't terribly useful. Maybe I should have went with like explosion or something like that. But honestly, the pickaxe is actually super easy to level because of the fact that it works as a pickaxe and a shovel. So the way I leveled it before was I just went out here, and I actually show you, I'll have to show you this little area. I just mined with it like ash because it breaks it instantly, and that counts for XP for it. So that's how I've been leveling it. So it's actually really quick. It takes all of about a minute to level it up. Maybe a little bit more now, but I need ash anyway, so it's not like I'm going out of my way to do it. So, and the battle axe, by the way, is a decent weapon, but it's also a lumber axe, so we can cut down wood-based stuff. And this thing is now filled, so I'm going to go ahead and fix this, because honestly, with it being filled, that's enough embers to last us a very good while. That's why I'm not too worried about having its own dedicated line, because we only use this thing on occasion anyways. So I'm actually half tempted to just AFK in some lava for a minute while I'll let this stuff build up. Maybe between episodes or something. But right now, I want to go ahead and get down into the next dimension, which means we need to craft Archaic Edge. Which this stuff, let me actually grab this stuff back out. The Archaic Edge blocks are motive cores and then archaic bricks. I'm actually low on motive cores. That's no good. I've got 2 to my name. Which technically I can craft the motive cores. I've done the research, in fact, for it. If we take a look here, it is 30 dawn. And then in addition, for the motive core, you also need an ember shard and then 4 archaic bricks. I could craft it. Probably not going to. I'm probably just going to go hunt golems. Unless it just becomes like dreadfully slow to do that. So I've got to go hunt down like 8 golems. Maybe more. Okay. Well, I'm going to go do that real quick. I'll be back here in just a minute once I get 8 more motive cores, then upgrade them to 8 more archaic edge blocks. And then we'll continue on. Okay, I got our 10 archaic edge blocks made. So all that's left to do is go into that dimension. But before we do, I did a little bit of research and I figured out how to make adhesive. It's iron 14 for me. Let me go ahead and throw that out. And I got the stuff laid out here. Let's go ahead and make ourselves some adhesive. Because if you recall, this actually stopped us a while back because we needed to get into alchemy. And it actually almost slipped my mind, but we can actually start getting into animals now. So I want to do that because honestly, food is a little bit of an issue because I am low on fat content, always. So there's some adhesive. Honestly, I might go ahead and make a little bit more of this stuff. I think I've got 2 more crafts worth, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do the 2 crafts because it doesn't take all that long to do. Okay, there we go. We have 18 adhesive. And what I want to make, if we take a look in here, the egg came first. We need adhesive and then we need to make an egg. And honestly, adhesive is the worst part. Then we just need seeds and a red sandstone infusion stone. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple crafts of this, I guess. Maybe so. Let me grab that. Or I'm going to bring the blocks with me to make a few of them anyways. And what we're going to do is we're going to take terracotta. And we need red sandstone. So we're going to throw it into our alchemy catalyst. And we're going to make red sand. And then red sandstone. Ooh, it's 1 for 4. Ooh. Okay. I was thinking it was going to be 4 for 4. Yeah, that makes sense. Sandstone's 4 for 1 normal too, so. Alright, and then I've got cactus needles somewhere. Flowers and plants. There we go. We'll go ahead and make this. Hopefully we'll get lucky and get an egg on the first try. I'm going to cross my fingers. Because that's expensive. 4 blocks of clay for 1 craft to get 1 egg. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to drop in the red sandstone infusion stone, 1 seed, 1 adhesive, and we'll give this just a minute to run. And we'll get ourselves an egg here in just a second. There we go. And that's going to complete that quest. Done. And there's no way to actually, like, hatch this, is there? Like, I'm just going to have to throw it and hope that it turns into a chicken? I can make a fried egg. Oh, that's fat and protein. Oh, that's a really good way to get fat right now. Yeah, see, I don't think there's any kind of, like, incubator or anything like that. Oh, Benny's Genetics one, but we're not at Benny's Genetics yet. Okay, so egg came first. Now, we could go ahead and just upgrade this and get a spawn egg for... I know a lot of these take eggs. Like cows. Which we could totally pull that off right now. But I think I'd like to start with chickens, because I'm going to need a bunch of eggs. I'd like to start with chickens, get those running and creating resources for us, namely eggs. And then we can expand later. And then later on, like after we have eggs going, then I can get the other animals going. Because once we get eggs going, I mean, it's going to be easy to expand on chickens or whatever. I'm just going to do a chest for right now. Later on, we will do something with, I don't know, drawers or something like that. Because we're going to be getting feathers in addition to everything else. But for right now, this will be fine. We'll put the... I will set it up for right here for right now. Can I make a lasso? No. Piggy backpack? I can make a piggy backpack? Okay, we'll just do... we'll do like this. I'll figure something out to make it. That'll be fine for right now. Okay, let's take our egg, and let's see if we can break this thing. Fingers crossed that we get a chicken. Of course we don't. Okay. Alright. Let me... Ugh, this is terrible. Tell you what, I've got 16 clay blocks. Let me just... I'm just going to smelt all of these. The terracotta to get the red sand is definitely the worst part of this. There's also morbs, which are going to take ender pearls, but these, and then we'd have to upgrade them with signum if we want a reusable one. These are basically like safari gnats from thermal expansion, so we could use those. I can't make a spawn chicken. The rest of them you actually get spawn eggs, but The chickens you don't. You get eggs, which is pretty bad. Oh, and by the way, my armor is actually pretty close to leveling. I could sit in the lava for a little while and easily level it if I wanted to. I'm not going to just yet because I'm waiting for the bees to build up. I did get all 4 of the bees added in. So we have 4 embers bees producing, and it does seem to be helping quite a bit. But I've still got to fill up all those buffers and everything. So all those item pipe buffers. Aha! Yes! Lucky, lucky. Okay, so we got it on the 2nd egg. And then I just have to wait for this chicken to grow. And we can start getting eggs. Which will be great. And since we got this extra egg, do we want to go ahead and make like another animal with it maybe? Like, I would really like to get cows up and going. So we can start getting leather. What does it take to make cows? Oh, 16 leather, which we could do rotten flesh. And then we would need the life infuser core. Yeah, let's make a cow. Let's do that, since I got this extra egg. Because if nothing else, I could still get milk and make cheese with that. Because we can actually start moving into some better food, because I've got piddly food right now. It's really, really bad. I'm going to have to go out and get more rotten flesh. But there's definitely a lot better foods that we could be making and eating, and I could actually start looking at having good nutrition values and all that. But I've got to get... I feel like I've got to get meat up and going. I mean, that's really what I need to do at this point, so... Oh, this pick is smelting it into flesh. It's auto-smelting it into flesh. So there are some things that I can auto-smelt. And if I use it as a weapon, it will automatically like cook steak and stuff. So, I mean, I'd like to get it on my hammer. But I've noticed that my hammer, ever since I upgraded the pick, my hammer's actually been burning stuff too. Which is quite interesting. So, I actually got enough. I'm going to go ahead and break this though, because I'm going to need more to get a 2nd cow. But once we get a 2nd cow up and going, we can start breeding them. We can start getting leather coming in that way as well. So... And actually, I'm going to go ahead and get 32 of these. So I can make 2 of these once I get another egg. So once that chicken becomes fully grown, I think we'll be set. And we'll go ahead and change this stuff over. 32 pieces of leather. And then we'll dump in the egg, 16 leather, and the life infuser core. And we're about to get a spawn egg. Woot. And I've got to figure out some place to put these. You got to make sure and not put them outside, otherwise they'll get poisoned. Because the poison does seem to affect everything, not just you. This thing seems to take forever to craft. Like, it's been crafting for a while. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it takes longer. Let me go ahead and set up some kind of fencing area. And actually, I'll tell you what. We've got that little area in the workshop that I have no real use for at the moment. We'll use that. Because I don't have any other purpose for this area. And I can pretty easily... I'm going to have to move grass down here. But this will be fine. If we just do like a little, I don't know, 3x3 area for the cows, I guess. And if I want it to be bigger, I can always bring it back a little bit. That'll be fine. But for right now, we'll do that. And then... maybe I'll bring it back like another 2 blocks. Okay, and our spawn egg is done. It just takes a little while to craft. And so that should count for that quest. There we go. So all we have to get for that quest is a horse. Which horse will probably be one of the later things I do, because I don't really have any particular need for it, I don't think. I mean, I could use it for exploring the world a little bit. But at the same time, there's so many like lava pitfalls that would actually kind of make me nervous to do that, to ride the horse through there. So I'll transfer grass over to here later. It's not really a big deal. But anyways, there we go. We have a cow. And I can milk it and whatnot to make cheese. Cheese is actually just, and it does have fat content. Cheese is just 6 buckets of milk, makes 4 of it. And then from there, we could actually start making, I know garden salad. Actually, cheesy bread might not be bad to cover fat and protein, both. I know, I need vitamins. Well, even still, I mean, cheesy bread would get our fat up. So if nothing else, I mean, it's going to open up possibilities for us, options so I can start actually upgrading food between episodes. But anyways, now that that's in place, I would like to first check on my chicken. How's this chicken doing? Oh, it dropped a feather already. Oops. But what I really want is eggs. That's definitely what I want at the moment. Let's go ahead and pop down to the... Do I want to put this teleport down there? Actually, I think I'm going to put this in the workshop area. Because the one that's over there is actually just because I'm doing a lot of bees over there. Over near the bee area. So we'll put this one down here, I think. And I don't really have a good spot. Yeah, I have to go to the it has to be the cavern dimension that I use this in. And I don't know if I want to put it in the boar area. Though the boar area is actually, since it's ran out, it's probably going to get moved. So I'm going to go to the bee storage. And I don't think there's like a Y level limit, so we'll just pop through here. And we're going to set it, we're going to set it right back here. Alright, so we'll just put those in and right click, and there we go. We have our portal. And let's go into the new dimension. I'm actually kind of curious about this dimension. Oh, it's going to go through the super load screen. So I'll be back once it loads up the new world and we get in there. Or the new dimension. Okay, and it's pretty laggy right now, but there we go. It does start us off in a pitch black area once again. Let me get my gun at the ready and my staff at the ready. Okay, quest complete, alchemical construct. Took a little bit to pop that. So now that that's done, we have a quest here for Alloys Mark II, and it's a steel. Alloys Mark II wants us to get 8 kiln bricks. Steel wants us to get 27 blast bricks, and then... Oh, do we not have to craft steel with it? And then glowing wants us to get glow-tight sand and glow-tight crystals, which I'm assuming are those things over there. I love this fairy dust, by the way. Using this as a light source because I've just got so much of it. It's such a good light source. And it's free. And it doesn't go out whenever I touch water like torches do and all that. What is this? Scoria stone and desiccated stone. Oh, the kiln bricks actually take desiccated stone and magma blocks. Okay. Interesting. But what I'm after is that glowstone stuff, right? Yeah, right over there. Oh, I see blazes. Which means we can start getting blaze powder. Which means... oh, sandy magma rack. We can freeze it and make soul sand. Alright, so glow-tight sand. That's the stuff that we want. And... where'd that blaze go? Oh, he's way down there. Pshoom! Pshoom! Probably, oh, it actually did pretty decent damage. Killed him in 3 shots, which isn't too bad, I guess. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get over there to where he's at. Yeah, I can actually go right over here. This'll work. Into fire advancement. And can we just grind this like in a grindstone to get, oh, we can make nether wart. Hey now. I'm immune to fire though, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. But I would rather him not do that. Though actually over there where he's at, there is a lot of glow-tight sand. Alright, let's actually charge this thing up. It doesn't one-shot him, but then again, I mean, he is a fire-based mob, so at the same time, I kind of don't expect it to one-shot him with a fire-type attack, but it's still doing a lot of damage. I mean, that's one thing about embers, is it's generally fire-based damage that you're going to be dealing, so nether mobs aren't the best for it, I guess, but... Oh, here we go! We hit the jackpot on glow-tight sand. There we go. Quest updated, glowing. That means I've got enough glow-tight sand. Burnium ore. Okay. But I don't really need it. I really don't need burnium ore. I've got so much burnium. I really wish that the melter would work with burnium, because we would use the melter, but it doesn't. It does not work with burnium, so... I haven't been able to get it to work with burnium anyways. And there's a ton of glow-tight sand here. And even though I have the embers tools, I'm still going to be using flexible tools as well. We're going to be getting into some upgrades for that, possibly even next episode. We'll see. because there are still things that I definitely want with that. It says apparently crystals grow on glowing sand. The glowtite crystals do. So I guess I just need to go plant this stuff down somewhere, like make a little room filled with glowtite sand. See, it looks like glowtite sand is interchangeable with sand. Yeah, you can make glass out of it. And it behaves just like sand too, as in it falls from gravity. But I don't really see like just glowtite crystals anywhere. So I guess they just automatically start growing, like on their own, is what I'm assuming. The mobs here really aren't too bad. Blazes aren't all that awful. I don't know why I didn't warp back. But we'll make a little farm, like, right back here, I guess. It's actually really weird for me to be playing a pack this way, where, like, everything is, like, more compact. Oh, whoops, we hit, we hit some water here. Because as you guys probably know, I never build this way, like compact, and we're not going to build this way long term, but we're working our way towards the next dimension. I just don't really want to live in an ash world, underground. I want to live someplace a little bit more like temperate, like normal temperatures and stuff like that for bees, and it would just be a little bit nicer for us. So I guess I just let this stuff hang out, and we will start getting, crystals at some point. Like Future Pack, I've played around a little bit with Future Pack just in a test world, but it's actually a fairly newer mod to me. So, this, I'm not 100% sure. Just says apparently crystals grow on them over time, I should make a farm. I'm just going to head down and see if I can figure out, like, because I think there's supposed to be like a crystal or something that we put on top of glowtite sand. But yeah, if you notice that my XP was down, I died earlier when I was hunting golems. I was eaten by a grue. Because I was getting a little bit daring. Because of course it needs to be dark for the golems to spawn. So I was kind of running around in like some dark tunnels and trying to keep them like fairly dark. Where am I at exactly? Oh, perfect. I was trying to keep it fairly dark, and so I was like, plus I was out of light source fairy dust. And so I got a little bit too daring, and yeah, the grue got me. So definitely my fault. Okay, I just want to go down to see if there's anything nifty. It almost looks like that basaltic magma down here. Like that red lava stuff. And, oh, yeah, see there's glowtite crystals down here. So we do have to actually harvest them. Unless that one just, like, started growing. I guess we'll find out whenever we get back. I don't know if I actually need this much stuff. This much glowtite sand. Probably just leave it. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. Some of these are big. Let me grab as many of these as I can get. Oh, look at that. We are fully heated on the ashen stuff. But the reason I'm not going to do that this episode, the reason I didn't get into those upgrades this episode or worry about it too much, is because I don't have a whole lot of ember shards. And, I mean, I like to throw a decent amount in there so that we have a good chance to upgrade. So I figure I'd wait until the bees have a chance to actually build up, you know, a few crystals that I can use for upgrading. So probably next episode. I mean, I've got four sets of bees running now. So I think we'll be a lot better on those. I've actually got a decent amount of crystals built up. And let me take a look. I believe you can turn these into glowstone. Yeah, you can actually just throw them on the crushing table and crush them up into glowstone. And the rock grinder. We still have to get into the sawmill soon, too. Okay, so I think that's good enough. I think we've got plenty of those. So let's warp back. Aha! They do start growing on their own. They do indeed, but it looks like they can grow like too high, too. So, I mean, I'll put down a couple of these. I don't know. I mean, since they pop up on their own, I guess there's not a whole lot of point to place them down. And just kind of let the farm build up. But we have access to glowstone now. And I'm really not that far from glowstone bees either. Yeah, because we were talking about magma and sandy earlier. To get those to get... Or no, that's to get lumium. But pretty soon I can get glowstone. But they produce glowing combs, so I can't do that until I get the centrifuge. Which actually isn't too far off, I don't think. So, aha, there's redstone. Faster processing. That's for, I think, better melters, but I don't know. I don't know how much we're going to use it because I'm trying to do more with embers. Oh, and guess what? We got ourselves our very first egg from our chicken. So I'm going to go ahead and use this to get a second cow because I would like to get the cows up and going so I could start breeding them. I don't know if there is an auto feeder available to us. I mean, this early, I know there's the automatic feeder from actually additions. The feeding trough. And honestly, since we're getting eggs coming in, I may, probably between episodes, I'll probably expand our chicken setup so we have a lot more chickens. Because one chicken's great, but I would like to have more. Oh wait, I don't need, it's not seeds that I need. It's an egg and then that life infusion core thing, right? And actually, I think there's a ritual from roots. We're going to have to start getting into roots here pretty soon. I think there's a ritual from roots that helps with the animals too, if I recall. I haven't really extensively done the Roots 2 stuff, I don't guess, too much. Because everything was changed quite a bit, and they added a lot of different ritual changes and stuff like that. And I do want to get into that here pretty soon. So, we will definitely do that. Just random blue orchids. I swear those bees just take over. Let's see, I should have some wheat. I've got 21. I was making like baguettes and stuff with it, but now we can actually start making better stuff. What's the quickest way to make flour? Oh, I guess the quartz grindstone. Because I want to start making cheesy bread. There is our spawn cow. Anyways, I'm going to put down our feeding trough, like, place it right there. And then I could put the wheat down in there, and the cows should eat it once they recognize it. There we go. And they're going to breed and make a baby cow. And they're just going to keep, you know, eating that wheat whenever they can breed. And, do we have dark utilities? I think we do. No, we do not have that in this pack. It's in SevTech. It's not in this pack. So, that's fine. There's some other ways that we can filter, like the Tesla-powered thingies. We can do animal filters for babies and adults, so that is an option once we get up to that. I don't know. We'll see. But for right now, that'll be fine. I've got cows automatically breeding, and then I'll give it some thought. We might fix up some kind of system for handling the cows. There's actually, yeah, we could actually automate the cows pretty easily. Basically just have them so that the babies get pushed out whenever they're born, and then the babies get pushed out to, you know, like a little holding pen for the babies. We might set up something like that. We'll see. But anyways, we've got automatic feeding, and we've got cows now at long last. I need to get grass down there, but just basically for looks. Cows don't necessarily really need the grass anymore, so. And we got chickens. We got chickens going, and I'm going to expand on the chickens and maybe even add like a little farm of them, like kind of running around and stuff. Really, I could do like a vacuum chest, but we might do an automatic cooking system or something. I don't know. We'll see. So, anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode, so I am going to end this one out here. Next episode, I am going to craft up some upgrades, and we'll go ahead and upgrade all of our armor pieces. And I will get these things leveled up here in a minute. Well, once the ember stuff builds up. I need to see where that's at right now, because I imagine, I'm sure it's still filling up buffers, and it's got so much. Yeah, it's got so much it's got to build up. We've got 54 gold ingots that's built up. So it should be 54 of everything that, I imagine this is actually probably done, though. And realistically, it's actually cooked through a decent amount of these metals, because there was, I know iron, there was 26 or 27 stacks of iron. So, I mean, of course, some of this is in buffers. But even steel, like, that's only like 2 stacks that are in buffers. So, it's definitely working. It just takes a little while because there was so much buildup. But it'll give us automatic metals coming in, so hopefully I won't have to worry about those too much anymore. At least these 6 primary ones. And then aluminum, I've got tons of aluminum grit. Tungsten, I've got tons of tungsten, so those aren't too big of an issue. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button, and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already, to stay updated with when new videos come out. Next episode, we will we'll be continuing on with animals a bit. We're also going to go ahead and automate the other things from bees, like the diamonds, the lapis, the emeralds, those things that are coming in. I want to go ahead and automate them, and we may go ahead and automate the sieving system, so we can go ahead and have like ash automatically sieving. I know I'd mentioned we were going to do that this episode, but then just didn't have time because the metals were a little bit more of a priority. And then we'll probably get into some of this stuff, get redstone, because as soon as we get redstone, we can get drawer controllers, which is going to help out a ton. Because there's not really anything else that's going to hold us back from getting drawer controllers. I don't think. It's just diamond, stone, drawer, and then comparators. So we'll go ahead and get redstone next episode, and then, I don't know, push on to whatever comes up next. So, I still have no use for RF. Like, we could make the, oh, what's that thing called? The, friction. It's the one that takes the rubber boots. The electrostatic generator. We could make that, but I just don't have anything that takes RF, so I haven't made that yet. And honestly, it's an interesting generator, and it's horrible to try to use the thing because everything's based on static. You have to put on the rubber boots and like run around on carpet to like create static, and that's how you produce power. But I've been waiting to use that thing, but I don't have anything really to use RF in. So, I'm sure something will come up at some point. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care. Stay safe. I'll see you guys then.